Welcome to Golos Maze Runner. Hope you're excited to try to go for Maze's End win. Really excited about that. As far as our opening hand goes, yes, we will keep on this one. We don't have a blue source for Tatyova, but well, do we actually want to keep on this? We've got Panhar. Yeah, let's go and do it. We'll keep on this one because we can Golos with Panharmonicon. That'll be a couple different lands, and we've got ourselves a Field of the Dead ready to rock and roll and compete against the Locust God. So hopefully, if you've never played against the Locust God, it gets pretty nutty sometimes. So hopefully we can get ourselves a win against the Locust God. It'll be pretty fun if we do. But yes, welcome to Golos. Hope you're excited to play some. Finally, have a Maze's End commander. I'm so excited about that. It's been a. I'll kind of jump into that here in a second. Let's get our commanders out of the way first. So let's go lead off with Boros Guildgate, and then anything else, kick it back over there. So we are playing Golos, the tireless pilgrim. He is tired because Sad Robot forgot to charge his phone. Solemn Simulacrum, and they're trying to meet up for lunch and they can't get a hold of each other. So now he's just traveling the multiverse looking for him. So whenever Golos enters the battlefield, and that's why Sad Robot is sad. If you didn't know that little bit of magic backstory, you can tie the two cards together. That's why he's sad, and that's why Golos is looking for him. So they're just two buddies looking for each other. Whenever Golos enters the battlefield, search your library for a land card. That might be right. You never know. Nothing else for two. Do we have a tap land we need to go for? I doubt our opponent's running spot removal, but yeah, we'll just simply going for a Taiga uppercut, and we'll go and pass the turn. So we're playing Golos. Enters the battlefield, search your library for a land card, put that card on the battlefield, tap, then shuffle your library. Then for a 2-mana Wooburg activation, exile the top 3 cards of your library. You may play them this turn without paying their mana cost. Playing against the Locust God, DJ Buzz. Flying whenever you draw a card, create a 1/1 blue and red insect creature token with flying and haste. Then for a 4-mana activation, draw a card, then discard a card. Then whenever the Locust God dies, return it to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step. And ooh, 3 visits. Okay, there we go. It always helps to just get a little bit ahead on mana in this stack, having some sort of enabler like that. So let's go for 3 visits. That's going to allow us to grab a blue source for Tatyova. And since we are playing against a red deck, we do have to watch out for spot removal. We want to be able to get some sort of card draw as soon as Tatyova enters the battlefield. That's going to be the main thing that we're looking out for. So let's go ahead and grab Breeding Pool. We'll have that come into play tapped. And I think what we'll end up going for is simply just Savannah. I think that'll be a good option. And we'll get that down, and then anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. So we did cover the Locust God, we covered Golos. Let's give a quick shout out to our sponsors, MTGOTraders. If you need to build your very own Maze's End deck, they have a ton of guild gates for you to choose from. There's a bunch of them. There's been like 3 sets, or not necessarily, well, 3 sets of Ravnica, but there's at least 2 different. I think there's like 3 different each versions of guild gates. Whatever that is, get in there. Go pick out some guild gates, MTGOTraders. Also, if you're in the shout out for if you're in the market for a custom playmat or a dice bag or a t-shirt, be sure to check out inkgaming.com. You can use coupon code JOLT to get 10% off your order and help the channel at the same time. Or let's say that you want to check out some of my cool playmat designs. Type in Jolt539 in the search bar, and you can see some of those. And last but not least, I started a Patreon. So if you would like to contribute to the Patreon, there's a link down in the description below. And now it is officially free time. We can have some fun. So we got Swamp. Now, and also, a little bit of alert. Prime time is not legal in regular Commander, and I'll explain that. So there we go. I'll talk about why it's in here in just a second. So we got a couple different options. We've got Golos, and I think I kind of like just... Yeah, let's do some setting out, because we go Panharmonicon. That's going to be 2 triggers off of Golos. Yeah, that's going to be good. I like that. And opponent's off to a little bit of a slower start, so that's A-okay with us. And then anything else, we're going to pass the turn. But yes, I am playing this. What we're playing right now is why our life total is at 30 versus 30. This is 1 versus 1 commander for Magic Online. It basically has the exact same ban list as regular paper commander, or that you play at your local gaming store, except this is just 1 versus 1 Magic Online commander. The main difference is that there are a few cards that are unbanned. Now, why you would unban Primetime in a 1 versus 1 format, I don't really understand that. I mean, Primetime is, maybe digestible in a multiplayer format where people can deal with it. In 1 versus 1, if you don't have an answer from Primetime, it's really hard to deal with it. Just it's legal in 1 versus 1 commander. So hey, it's in the deck. This is a lands deck. It matters about having a bunch of lands. So there we go. If you're wondering why it's Mr. Big Ugly Face is in my opening, or not opening hand, but in my hand, that is why. So just wanted to give you a heads up. So we are looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We go for Golos. It's going to be 2. Yeah, let's go for Golos. Because we can use Primetime to help us kind of get a few extra guild gates. I think I like that. So what we're going to do is we do have 1 guild gate on the battlefield. We're going to have Golos enter the battlefield. That's going to be double with Panharmonicon, which is just going to be absolute... Oh, look at those triggers. That's beautiful. We're going to go for Golos, and then next turn we'll go for Yova and try to cash in some extra card draw. Yes, definitely use that ability. Let's get this popped out. We need to find ourselves Maze's End. Actually, if we want to speed this process up just a little bit, where are you? Got super worried we didn't have Maze's End for a second. Maze's End, and then we'll have Vesuva into the battlefield. Do we want to have it enter the battlefield as a copy of Maze's End? Yeah, I think that'll be good, because we can start going for some activations. That'll be good. All right, so we're going to go for Vesuva into the battlefield as a copy of Maze's End, and then we still have the land drop to make for the turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we can actually go for Field of Dead. Yeah, that's going to give us an extra zombie. There we go. Now we're slowly starting to build up a board state. We've got Prime Time next turn. We've got Scape Shift we can even go for to kind of sack all of these lands and get a few extra guild gates. We can even go for Valakut. If we had Prismatic Omen, we could. But I think at this point, that's a good turn 5. We're simply just going to go and pass the turn over to our opponent. But yeah, you can definitely see where having some sort of enter the battlefield effect with Golos, simply just getting down Panharmonicon and then going for Golos to get 2 lands, even if you're not playing Maze's End, the fact that you can end up with some really good stuff like this is a really good option. Now with Scape Shift and Field of the Dead, so what we can do is we've got 1 guild gate. We're looking at, sackable lanes that we can sack to Scape Shift to get a few guild gates. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can sack 5 different lands to go for Scape Shift to get a few extra tokens. I think at this point we're probably just going to end up going for these Maze's End activations. We can return it to our hand to get an extra guild gate. Put it on the battlefield, because that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I think I kind of like doing that, because it's going to allow us to slowly build up a few extra zombies while our opponent is a little bit stuck on mana. A little bit. Now we got 4 lands, so we'll definitely take this, and I think that's what we want to do. Yeah, because we could go for Prime Time. It's going to be Prime Time will definitely speed this process up. Yeah, let's try to do that. So let's go Prime Time. So we're going to Prime Time into the battlefield. We're going to go and grab 2 guild gates. Okay, so we're going to search our library for up to 2 land cards, put them onto the battlefield tapped. Yes, definitely use that ability. We're going to go double guild gates on this. So let's go, is it guild gate, Gruul guild gate. Have both of those enter. It's going to be 2. Let's go and always yield to these Field of Dead triggers. And we'll go for the second Primeval Titan trigger. Let's grab 2 more guild gates. That's going to be 2 more zombies from that. They're going to enter the. I think we haven't made the land drop yet. So if we end up going Catacombs, that's going to be another zombie on the battlefield. That's going to allow us to get an extra one. Let's go ahead and crack, pay 1 life. And I think what we'll do is we're simply just going to go and grab. We probably need to grab another green source. So we'll grab an Overgrown Tomb, have that come to play tapped, get an extra zombie, and then I guess we can actually just go and swing in with Golos and the zombie, because they can't attack or block with Kefnet, and they've got the Mystic Archaeologist over there. So yeah, let's go and do that. So we'll go and swing in with Golos and zombie. Going to be swinging in for 5, knock them down to 25 if they don't offer up any blocks, and then we'll go and pass the turn over to our opponent. So I think what we can do is we can actually go for Escape Shift next turn. That's going to allow us to get a few more guild gates on the battlefield, because at this point right now with guild gates we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got 5 guild gates. So we tap down Scape Shift, sack 5 lands, go for Maze's End. Yeah, I think we can actually go for a Scape Shift next turn. Ooh, and I just now saw this Wheel of Fate. So we'll get this popped up. That would definitely wreck us with Scape Shift. So, but you can definitely see, having a land stack with something like Panharmonicon can really get this thing kickstarted. You can see how many lands we have on the battlefield. And there's even other options that we could have gone for. Yova, Rampaging Balos. Imagine us getting all these land drops down for the turn. That would have been very nutty. And the other thing that we can do with Primeval Titan is we can actually search up a couple different guild gates once it does decide to swing in. So that's another thing that we can end up going for. Okay, opponent's going to go for the Flashback on Deep Analysis, and it looks like, man, they are a little bit stuck on lands. That is a major bummer. Now, if I end up posting this video later on, I don't necessarily like to post a video that shows where, opponent got land screwed, they couldn't hit their lands for the turn. But if it's something that shows how the deck is going to win, then I might tag it on at the end of the video. So if you're watching this and saying, like, well, why is Jolt beating up on the Locust God? hey, just you know, this is how this deck wants to operate, and sometimes you know decks like this take a lot of work to get that going. So let's definitely make the land drop for the turn. Let's go Urborg. That's going to be an extra Field of the Dead trigger. We're going to go and swing in with Primeval Titan. And then that way it's going to allow us to go for Scape Shift on the back end. So let's go and swing in with Prime Time. We're going to grab ourselves 2 more Guild Gates. I think that should be 7 Guild Gates. And that's going to allow us, yes, definitely use that ability. Let's get this popped out. Yeah, Zorius Guild Gate, Golgari Guild Gate. It's going to be 2 more zombie triggers. Control 15 different lands. We'll go for 1 more... Let's go and crop rotate. We're going to sacrifice land. We're just going to sacrifice this swamp to grab ourselves another Guild Gate. We're going to grab Selesnya Guild Gate. We'll go for this Mazes Inn activation. We're going to grab 1 more Guild Gate. That's going to be another zombie. It's going to bring Vesuva back to the hand. We're going to grab another gate, put that on the Rakdos Guild Gate. And that's going to leave 1 more Guild Gate that we can go for. So we can simply just Scape Shift for 1. And then we should be good. Alright, so swinging in for 6, that's going to put them down, and then we'll go for Scape Shift, and then get the extra ones going. Alright, so going to double block on Prime Time, that's perfectly fine. By Prime Time, he got the lands on the battlefield, that's what we mainly need. And let's go, we'll go Scape Shift. It's going to be double green. And at this point, we definitely do not want to sacrifice any Guild Gates, but I think there's only 1 more gate left, so we'll just sacrifice 2 lands, and we'll sacrifice... Urborg. Alright, plus I'm going to scoop it up on this one. So what we can do with Scape Shift is we can basically sack all these lands, get a few more zombies on the battlefield. What we're going to do is we're going to grab that last Guild Gate, go for the Mazes Inn activation with 3 extra mana. And that's going to allow us to close the game out with the Mazes Inn win. Now, like I mentioned, our opponent did get stuck on lands. They were sitting at 4 lands, so if you do see this video, you know, simply just showing how the deck can operate and how it can win. And even show you how busted something like Primetime is and why it's not banned in 1 versus 1, who knows? But anyways, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks, bye. Welcome to Omnath, Locus of the Royals. As far as our opening hand goes, yes, we're going to keep on this one. I like it. And it is Teamer versus Teamer. Really excited about this. Hopefully we have a good matchup. A little bit of a land-heavy hand, but we got double Scry and Scurry and the Fever and the Insanity, so I'll definitely take that. So let's go and lead off with some Insanity and look at the top part of our library, see if we want to leave it on top or not. Tempt with Vengeance. I guess that could work. Yeah, actually, yeah. Let's go leave that on top. That's going to work out perfectly with Parallel Lives. And then anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn over to our opponent. We're playing Omnath, Mr. Angry in the Creek. I hope you're ready to splash some water around in the creek today. We're playing Omnath, Locus of the Royal. Whenever Omnath enters the battlefield, it deals damage equal to any target equal to the number of elementals you control. Then, whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1 counter on target elemental you control. If you control 8 or more lands, draw a card. So, we're at least... almost halfway, over halfway there to drawing a card whenever land enters the battlefield, so that's always nice. So let's go lead off with another Scry and a Scurry, and the Fever, the Descendant of Madness, and Homeward Path. Yeah, let's go and put that on the bottom for right now, and then let's go and pass the turn over to our opponent. We are playing against Animar, Soul of Element, so protection from white and black. Then, whenever you cast a creature spell, put a +1 counter on Animar, and then creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each +1 counter on Animar. We did cover both commandos. Let's give a quick shout out to our sponsors, MTGOTraders. If you want to build your very own elemental deck, or let's say that you want to go walking in a creek for anger management like Omnath is doing, be sure to check out MTGOTraders. They've got a ton of creeks over there and a bunch of Omnaths to lead the way for you. And also shout out to inkgaming.com. You can use coupon code JOLT to get 10% off your order. Let's say that you're in the market for a playmat or, you know, dice bag, t-shirt, anything like that. Be sure to check that out. That is pretty cool. And get 10% off your order, or if you actually just type in Jolt539, you'll be able to see some of my cool playmat designs. And last but not least, I started a Patreon. So if you'd like to contribute to my Patreon, there's a link down in the description below. You get your name at the beginning or the ending of the credits. And sometime in the future, I'm working on tokens. I'm going to be setting up a tier that sends out tokens. So it's going to take a minute. I want to make a bunch of tokens. You know, I want them to look good, but that is something in the future. If you're a token person, then hey, look out in the future. But anyway, now it's officially free time. We can have some fun. So let's go Mountain, and we're going to go for Worn Power Stone. Get down War Power Stone. That's going to allow us to go for Parallel Lives. The way this deck is set up, with this Omnath deck, this is something that is not necessarily heavy elemental. Now, it is very heavy elemental. We want to get a lot of elemental tokens on the battlefield. But as far as actual elemental creatures in here, there are very few elemental creatures in here. What we're trying to do is get as many elementals on the battlefield with tokens. And we're trying to almost go for almost kind of like a one-shot style effect with Omnath. Not necessarily one shot, but, you know, we have stuff like Perforos, God of the Forge. Let's say we go for Tempt for Vengeance with Parallel Lives. That is a lot of damage on the battlefield. Now, let's say that we get Tempt with Vengeance. Maybe we get 5, 6, 7, 8 tokens on the battlefield. That's going to be 16 tokens with Parallel Lives. We get Omnath on the battlefield. That's going to be a lot of damage up top. So this is almost kind of a enter the battlefield damage style deck, which you can certainly build with Omnath. That's what makes this commander so cool. Then the fact that you add in, you know, we just drew into it. I was about to talk about their card draw effect. I mean, it's a very nice card draw effect. So if we're going for Tempt of Vengeance, I really do think we need to go for Parallel Lives. So let's go and get Parallel Lives set up. That's going to be 1, 2, 3. And that's going to leave us open for a really nice Perforos. We'll actually go for that next turn. And since we have nothing else for 2, I think we're just going to get Stomping Ground into play tapped. Not going to pay 2 life, and we're going to pass it back over to our opponent. But yeah, you know, one of the other cool things with Omnath is no matter what sort of build you go for, it does have that nice card draw effect of if you have 8 or more lands, draw a card. So simply just adding something like Alhamoret's Archive, whatever you make a land drop, that's going to be 2 card draw per turn. If you ever played with or against Tatnova, you can definitely see how just making a land drop is something that is just absolutely busted sometimes. And so with Omnath, you know, simply just having something like Archive, you get that down, that's going to allow you to cash in 2 extra card draw. That's really going to kind of start fueling your game plan for whatever sort of fun stuff that you want to do. But hopefully, now here's the kicker to playing against Animar. Sometimes it's just like they just win out of left field, and you're like, ah, okay. So enters bound for return a permanent. All right, so they're going to be able to just kind of basically, I think, just loop Sad Robot. No, they're not going to be able to loop it. They're at least just going to be able to recast it again and then get a ton of counters on Animar. Now, that does get us dangerously close to commander damage. It's going to put it up to about 9. It's going to be about a third of the commander damage and a third of our life total. So let's see what else they have to show for the turn. Alright, swinging in for 9. We can still get down elementals. That's going to allow us to at least kind of chump block. Protection from white and black is not going to matter if we get these red elementals on the battlefield. So I think I'd like to set up a Perforos trigger if we can swing it. But it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's going to be 12 tokens on the battlefield. If we set up Perforos, that's going to be simply just 4 tokens. I'm not sure that's exactly what we're going to go for. Now, let's say they're taking another swing from Animar. They got 3 cards left in the hand. I think we leave it all on. I think we get a little risky on this one. So let's go Perforos. That's going to be 1, 2, 3. Because that's going to be 8, 9. That's going to be 10. That's going to be 12. I think we can survive this. We're going to try our best. Even if we go for Tempt for Vengeance, I'm not super wild about that. Look, yeah, just for 2. No, let's just go and pass the turn. If they've got it, they've got it. So what we're going to do is we're going to pass the turn. We're going to try to set up a really nice Tempt with Vengeance. And once we tap out for that, that's going to be a lot of tokens on the battlefield. That's going to be a lot of Parallel Live triggers. And that's going to be a lot of Perforos triggers. Then that should seal the deal with Omnath, unless they have some sort of way to kind of loop this out or some sort of hasty option like Maelstrom Wonder. And then, yeah, that's... There we go. They've got it. Sometimes in a deck like this, you've got to do some setting up. We could have gotten down Tempt with Vengeance, and that definitely would have been the safer line of play to go for. But if we're trying to one-shot our opponent, if we're trying to close it out as quickly as possible, and, you know, playing against an Animar deck, it is very scary sometimes. We ended up kind of went for a riskier play, and, you know, of course, our opponent's going to get on this one. So, a good game to our opponent. That's one of those things that in Magic, sometimes you just got to be a little risky with your lines of play, but they're going to get it on this one. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and scoop this one up. I tried to toss a game in the chat, but our opponent's just basically going to be playing through their deck. But yes, long story short, you can see where our opponent's going to get it on this one. They've got Animar down, they've got down a Crater Hoof, and so they've got a ton of ways to deal some damage out. But, you know, that's one of the downsides. So even if we went for Tempt with Vengeance the previous turn, they were looking for a really explosive turn. And that's one of the downsides of playing against Animar is that, you know, just out of the middle of nowhere, they're just going to close it out, and sometimes setting up a risky play like that is something that you need to do to try to get the win. So anyway, good game to our opponent, and if you enjoyed the video, Like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye. Welcome to Urza. As far as our opening hand goes, yes, we're going to keep on this one. I like it. We got some protection from Urza. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we just get to a third land that we can go for Worn Power Stone. So I just recorded Urza where we got stuck on 2 lands for like 5 turns. And well, it happens sometimes. That's how magic goes. But yes, welcome to Urza. I hope you're excited to get some beautiful artifacts on the battlefield and start tapping them down and getting some just wonderful, wonderful mana. But yes, let's start off with Urza himself. So we're playing Urza, the Lord High Artificer, Blood Pet. Okay, I love that little. This is art, especially the white border. That's a good looking magic card. Let's see if we. Oh, there we go. Okay, I'm already at rest for this game. I feel good that we're going to be able to go land into Worn Power Stone. Let's lead off with actually, yeah, I think we want to go Swiftfoot Boots because we want to be able to protect Urza, especially playing against Vile Smasher. If we can get Urza protected, that's exactly what we ended up doing. Or at least, worst case scenario, force them to use some sort of spot removal on Swiftfoot Boots. So we're going to get down Boots and then kick it back over to our opponent. So we're playing Urza. Whenever Urza enters the battlefield, create a 0/0 colorless construct artifact creature token with. This creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact that you control. Then tap an untapped artifact you control. Add blue mana to your mana pool. Then for a 5 mana activation, shuffle your library. Then exile the top card. Until end of turn, you may play that card without paying. It's, oh man, I was like, what? Did our opponent get some sort of infinite loop? They just hit the Control Z button. I'm playing against Vile Smasher the Fierce. I was like, what is going on? And then we run into Mishra's Self-Replicator. Yeah, let's keep up with the Worn Power Stone line of play. I kind of like that. We're going to crack Misty, grab ourselves another island. The reason we're running Misty in here and some of these fetch lands is it is deck thinning, which is not statistically worth the life loss I've read, but me personally, I enjoy running, especially in a deck like this with like Urza. I like knowing that we get down Misty, crack an island, at least late game. That's one less island that we're going to draw into. That always makes me feel better. But we're also running Brainstorm in here. We're running Ponder, running a few different other options that Halimar Depths. It's just sometimes to where if you can sing with the Halimar Depths with a fetch land, I just like getting that extra card advantage. So if you're ever wondering why I'm running a fetch land in a monocolor deck, and if you're also wondering why can we run Misty in a monocolor deck, because it says Forest or Island, there's no green mana symbol on Misty. So you can run anything that says, as long as it doesn't have the mana symbol, you can run it in your deck. Now there's a few other scenarios where like Extort, that's black, white, whatever, but long story short, this is what you can do. We did cover both Commander. Did we cover Vile Smasher? Whenever you cast your first spell each turn, choose an opponent at random, which if you're keeping score at home, that's going to be us, and then it's going to deal damage equal to that spell's converting mana cost of the player or planeswalker that player controls. So opponent's going to go Thoughtseize, take our Mishra's Self-Replicator, which is a little bit of a bummer. I was excited about this one, being able to just kind of amplify out a ton of mana like that. Sounds pretty cool. It's a little bit of a kind of wishful thinking to really get it going, especially at 5 mana and sitting at a 2/2. But hey, we're here to have some fun with Urza. We do have Trading Post as a little bit of a backup plan. So opponent does have 5 cards in their hand with open spot removal. Ooh, and we run into Mana Drain. I think at this point, yeah, I kind of like that. Now we could go one with Machine. That's going to give us 3 card draw, but we go Treasure Map. Yeah, let's just do some setting up. Yeah, we're going to go Treasure Map. That's going to give us a scry that we can go for, and we can leave up. That's a beautiful draw, drawing into that Mana Drain. And it's going to give us some extra mana next turn for Trading Post. And what we're going to do on this is, if our opponent's holding up some spot removal or something like that, or at least just going to roll out as much stuff as possible before we end up going for Urza. That way, if they do kind of banking on some sort of, kill spell or removal spell, we can at least kind of rebound with some mana that we're setting up. So, or if they end up just, mana, yeah, we're going to have to Mana Drain on that. Let's go Mana Drain on Uwazama's Jitte, because as that continues to go, that's just going to be really hard for us to deal with, especially with those counters. We've got a lot of Thopters in here, so if they can just go -1/-1, or they can start gaining life, it's just going to make it really difficult for us. So let's go for the Treasure Map. We're going to go Scry, the Scurry, the Fever, the Insanity, Academy Ruins. Yeah, we'll put that on top. That's a guaranteed land drop for the turn. And once again, I think we might end up going for one with Machine, because that's going to be 3 cards that we can draw into next turn. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. And once again, they got 4 cards in hand, 2 open mana. They're not off to a crazy fast start. So I think I kind of like this. So I draw into that Academy Ruins. I rebuild that 2 colorless mana to our mana pool. Oh, yeah. I'll take that. And I think, yeah, let's go for Urza, because we can use that 2. 1, 2. Blue, blue. And if they do have some spot removal, they don't have a counterspell, but in the worst case scenario, we can at least just add some mana to our mana pool. So we're going to get that construct token. Let's see if this is going to stick. Worst case, we still tap down Swiftfoot Boots and Treasure Map just to add some blue mana. All right, so they're going to go for Wooded Foothills in response to that. We'll see if this is going to be any sort of spot removal. The good thing about playing Urza, though, is that we still get that construct token. All right, so I'm going to go for the Throat. We've got we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 5 total mana. I still think I like going 1 with Machine. So we're going to tap down Treasure Map. We're going to tap down Swiftfoot Boots. And that's still going to give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's going to give us enough to go for 1 with Machine and end up going for Swiftfoot Boots. All right, so that's going to be fine. All right, so we're going to go for the Throat on Urza. We've got the mana established. We're going to get that construct token, which is going to be a 4/4. We go Academy Ruins, and then let's tap down Academy Ruins. Let's go for Swiftfoot Boots onto the construct token. We're going to go for 1 with Machine. 3 cards. Man, I've got to with 1 with Machine. I keep for some reason in my head. Yeah, let's. Do we want to swing in for 4? Now that we've got protection, let's just go hold back Vial Smasher. I think that's fine, because that just kind of opens the gate for them to do some pretty good damage to us. 1 with Machine, it's in here, let's say that we get down Mere Turbine. 1 with Machine cares about the converted mana cost of artifacts. And I cannot tell you how many times I've gone to cast 1 with Machine, and I'm thinking, I see the 4/4 on the construct token. I'm like, yeah, we're going to get 4 card draw. And then we don't get that 4 card draw, and I'm like, what just happened? And I'm like, oh, yeah, it's a converted mana cost. But I think we covered our sponsors. If we didn't, then, the typical... I've been recording for about 30, 40 minutes with Urza right now. So sometimes when you read the sponsors a bunch of times, anyway, it's going to be MTGOTraders, Ink Gaming, and my Patreon. So you know what's happening. So we got Fiery Confluence. That's going to be... Let's see what they're targeting. They're going to destroy Swiftfoot Boots and then get that extra damage. That's going to be a couple damage up top. That's still going to leave us the construct token, though, sitting at a 3/3. So they're not going to swing in with Vial Smasher. But that was pretty brutal, because that's going to put us all the way down to 12. Now, we do have Trading Posts. Trading Posts is a good option for us to kind of bounce back from that. Yeah, I kind of like that, because that's going to give us some good repeated life gain. So we're going to go Island. Let's go Trading Post. It's going to be 1, 2. That's going to make Construct a 4/4. And then we can go for discard a card. We can well, we'll see exactly what we want to discard. We'll have Treasure Map to go for. Yeah, because with that Trading Post, if they don't really have any sort of card advantage, then we can hopefully just kind of outrace that Vial Smasher. So that we may just end up going for discarding something like Mere Turbine, and then trying to go from there. Opponent's going to go for Vampire Hex Mage. It's going to be 2 damage to us. The only downside is if we end up going for these Scries, they can remove that. But that may not be the end of the world if we end up going for the Scries off of, if they end up removing that. So they end up removing the counters from target permanent. But that's just, okay. So a little bit of a misplay by our opponent on that one. There's not counters on there. It just gets simply just +1/+1 for each artifact that you control. So a little bit of a misclick on that. That happens sometimes. When you're playing Commander, there's a lot of interactions that are just really hard to keep up with sometimes. So we're going to go for the Treasure Map. That's going to be 1 island activation. We're going to get the Scry, the Fever, Paradox Engine, which we just simply can't support right now. It's going to be hard for us too. I mean, technically, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Untap. Yeah, let's just go and put that on the bottom for right now. And that'll still give us the opportunity to go for Treasure Map for next turn, which is going to be really good. Ooh, Pull from Tomorrow. That's a very good thing of what we wanted to see. Now, if we're going to end up going for Pull from Tomorrow, I think I just kind of like sitting back on this. So let's just go ahead and pass the turn to our opponent. We've got a good Pull from Tomorrow. We're going to be able to draw a pretty good chunk of cards. Our opponent's only down to 2 cards left in their hand. So we're just going to kind of play the little bit of a slower game and go for Pull from Tomorrow. And hopefully that should allow us to end up with a lot of stuff from Urza. We've got Treasure Map untapping. They're going to go Murderous Cut on the Construct token. That's going to be 5 damage. Yeesh. Okay, so that's going to put us down to 5. And there's not really much we want to do in response to that. I get we can't really tap down the Construct token. So, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's going to go. So I'm going to get rid of Construct token. That Murderous Cut is very, that's very brutal with that Vial Smasher trigger. So they're going to get rid of Construct token. That does allow them to swing in for 2. They had one card left in their hand and they did draw for the turn. So hopefully it's not something too bad. Whatever they end up going for, let's say that they swing in. Now we kind of get into this weird spot to where maybe we should have activated Trading Post right then and there, because we get in this spot to where if we go for the activation now and they have a line of play to go for, they might be able to cast a spell and deal some damage up top to us. So that's actually a little bit of a sequencing error on my part. So hopefully it doesn't come back to bite us, because even though we can gain the life with Trading Post and hopefully negate whatever they're trying to go for, if it gets down to where they swing a Vial Smasher, knock us down to 3, then we go for Trading Post, and in response to that, they go for the Vial Smash trigger. So a little bit of a misplay on my part, but if we can get that to stick, I think I feel pretty. In fact, let's go and force the issue right now. So we're going to discard a card. We're going to discard Mere Turbine. We're going to try to gain 4 life. Because if that lasts... All right, there we go. So that's going to give us a little bit of a buffer. I really like that. They're going to be able to swing in for 2. It's going to put us down to 7. And if we can just make it until next turn, we should hopefully be able to stabilize. Okay. We're going to go for Pull from Tomorrow, and we're just trying to get as much Pull from Tomorrow because we can get that to flip for next turn. So we're going to X equals 5, and then oh yeah, this is what we want to see. Let's go ahead and discard Island. And Lightning Greaves is exactly what we can get down Urza, get it protected immediately. Oh yeah, this is going good. So what we're going to go and do right now is we're going to go Trading Post, because we just want to make sure that we just don't lose to a random burn spell. So we're going to go ahead and go for an Island activation, Trading Post. We're going to discard Island. We're going to gain 4 life. That's going to put us back up to 11. Let's go for Urza. Actually, we're going to go Swiftfoot Boots first, Lightning Greaves first. We're going to go Chrome Mox. Now, one of the cool things with Chrome Mox and Urza is that we don't have to exile a card. We can simply just use it as a Mox. It's such a really nice effect. All right, so we're going to see if we can't get Urza to stick, and we're going to get a 0/0 construct. Let's get Lightning Greaves onto Urza. If we wanted to, we could swing it with the construct token, but I kind of like trying to just build it back up from here. So this is what we're going to do. We're simply just going to go and pass the turn, and we'll tap down that treasure map, and that's going to give us a little bit of extra mana next turn to where we can really hopefully kind of stabilize at this point. We're not out of the woods yet. We are sitting at 11. Once we get at least one more activation, because if our opponent can get some sort of card draw, whenever a creature, something like Rampaging Ferocidon, that's going to be pretty rough for us. So it's going to enter the battlefield. It's going to be a 3/3, and it does have menace. So it's like I mentioned, this the Trading Post is helping us stay alive. It's not going to help us win just yet, but we're going to try our best. So Dreadbore on the Construct token. So what we're going to do is we're going to tap down the Construct token, add that blue mana. We're going to go for Treasure Map, get the Fever, the Insanity. That's going to give us a few extra options. And then Mind Stone. Yeah, let's go and put that on the bottom for right now. We're just going to get... Oh, look at that. We got all these treasure tokens, and now we've got actually 4 mana. Do we want to? We can go for 2 to grab some sort of artifact. That can be Spellskite or something. Yeah, I think we just pass the turn. So they're going to get rid of our Construct token. Urza is still sitting pretty good at a 1/4, so we're at least going to be able to hold Vial Smasher back. And now our opponent just does not have any sort of card draw. So I think at this point we might end up trying to go for something like Tamiyo's Journal with Weird Invention. That might be kind of good. We'll see. Let's see what we run into, though. But we do want to at least kind of get this Trading Post activations going. Everflowing Chalice. And yeah, let's go ahead and do that right now. So we're going to discard a card. Well, they have no cards. We really need to do this. So we're going to pay 1 mana. 1 blue mana. Let's discard Everflowing Chalice. I'd like to get that on the battlefield, but we need to get that 4 life game. And let's get some, I think Mirror Matrix might actually be a good option. So the 5 mana. In fact, let's go and go for that right now. So we're going to tap down a few extra artifacts, because we just want to be able to at least hopefully start blocking on our opponent. So tap a few extra creatures. Let's get this popped out. Now, X equals 5, so we can go Tamiyo's Journal at the beginning of your upkeep, investigate. We're going to get a clue token. But if we get Mirror Matrix, where is it? Mirror... Yeah, you know what? Let's do this. Let's grab Paradox Engine. I think that's going to be a better option. Once we end up grabbing Paradox Engine, that's going to make it to where we untap these artifacts and really kind of start to go off with Trading Posts. So yeah, I think I like that. So, in fact, while they're tapped out, let's go and bounce. Yeah, I think I kind of like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to sacrifice a treasure. We're going to sacrifice one of these treasures. Actually, let's do this first. So let's go Cyclonic Rift. we're gonna not overload. What we're gonna do is we're gonna bounce Vile Smasher back to their hand. That's gonna allow us to untap our artifacts, and that way we can start to get a few extra trading posts. We're gonna go Treasure Cove. We're gonna sacrifice a treasure just to draw a card. We're gonna discard a card to gain a life. That's going to put us back up to 12. We're going to send Vile Smasher back. And with Paradox Engine, hopefully that's going to allow us to kind of start to go back from there. And then, oh, duh, with Rampaging Ferocidon, we can't gain live. Okay. I was like, I knew we went for activations earlier, then I got really confused on what was happening. I do apologize. That is, I don't really play against Rampaging Ferocidon a lot, and I was just trying to figure. I was like, maybe we got down to 8. Maybe I didn't realize what happened, because sometimes when I'm giving commentary, I don't, you know, I'm trying to think of, what line of play can we do this? What can we grab late game to help us do something like that? So with Rampaging Ferocidon, yeah, I just completely whiffed over that. So that's something that we need to deal with, definitely, for sure. Okay, opponent's gonna go for Vile Smasher. Yeah, sorry about that. If you're sitting there screaming, Jolt, you can't gain life, Jolt, you can't gain life, what are you doing? I'm feeling that right now, but yeah, when you're playing a game and giving commentary at the same time, it's kind of like trying to bounce a basketball and throw a baseball with the other hand. So you're trying to dribble a basketball, then throw a baseball, and it's just kind of sometimes one side takes over and doesn't allow you to fully take in the board state. So one of the things that I do when I'm giving commentary and playing is I, very quickly read a card and then process it. So as far as Rampaging Ferocidon, I'm like, okay, enter the ETB 1 damage and menace. So that's what ends. So, but then I ended up, unfortunately, skipping that one little damage, which is a big factor in us getting some good stuff going. So we do have something we can bring out of the graveyard, but at this point, with us burning that Cyclonic Rift, that was a I think that's going to be hard for us to do anything about that. That's a little bit of a problem on my part. So let's go ahead and crack a Treasure Trove. We're going to crack a clue token. Arcane Denial. Okay, yeah, we should have sequenced it to where we had Cyclonic Rift and Arcaned on that Rampaging Ferocidon. Do we want to get a... We can Paradox Engine to untap some stuff. We'll make the land drop for the turn. But unfortunately, we're just going to end up with a 0/1 goat token, which is not going to do much. Yeah, so I think we simply just going to go and pass the turn over to our opponent. So they're going to be able to swing in next turn. It does have Menace. We can at least make a goat token, but if we make a goat token, that's not going to be good for us. So unfortunately, with me bouncing... I think either way with Rampaging Ferocious... Ooh, Fire Blast. That's going to be 6 damage up top. Oh, yeah. Well, I guess we'll go Arcane Denial just to counter the spell. And I'm not sure what we can do. Maybe we run into Disallow. So we're going to tap to add blue mana to our mana pool. Tap the treasure token. Tap down Trading Post and add 2 colors. All right, so we're going to untap our permanents. I think if we run into something like Disallow, that's really going to be our only option to kind of stop this Vile Smasher. Because we've got the Arcane Denial for Fire Blast, then we have Disallow for the Vile Smasher trigger. But either way, it's not looking the best. So okay, there we go. Opponent's going to put it down to -1, and then even with Arcane Denial, yeah, that's at the beginning of our next upkeep. So, yeah, and then sometimes when I just make a goofy mistake like that, if I overlook something, it just gets in my kitchen, and it affects how the game goes for the rest of the game, or how the game progresses as the game comes to an end. So, unfortunately, a little bit of a misplay on my part, kind of put me in a little frazzled state, but you can definitely see what we're trying to do with Urza, and definitely be adding some more removal in here, because as I look through the deck, sometimes when I build a deck, I just go really fun build, and then I'm like, oh, something like Rampaging Ferocidon just shuts us down. It's hard for us to do anything. So, anyways, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.